All right, so we're diving into the Warren Buffett way today, which tells me you're ready to unlock some serious investing secrets. Let's see what makes this legendary investor tick.
And how you can use his wisdom, even if you aren't buying companies outright. That's the goal here.
Love it. Now, everyone knows Buffett for those big names, Coke, Gillette. But these excerpts, they suggest he's playing a different game altogether.
Oh, absolutely. It's not about owning a tiny piece. It's about seeing the whole board, like you're buying the entire business. Buffett, he's looking for those bedrock companies, the ones built to last, not just the flash in the pan.
Intriguing. And then there's this moat concept. Very medieval.
Yeah.
But in business, is it as tough to crack as a castle defense?
You got it. Think of it like a superpower, something rivals struggle to copy. Take Larson Jewel, right? They're kings of custom picture framing. But their moat isn't about the frames themselves. It's the service.
Service. For picture frames, now you've got me curious.
They've nailed it. Same-day deliveries, huge inventory. The frame shop owners, they practically high-five the delivery drivers. It sounds basic, but that obsession, being the best possible partner, that's what makes Larson Jewel untouchable.
So less about the product itself, more about the experience, the relationship that keeps customers hooked.
Exactly. That loyalty, that stickiness, that's the moat in action. They can charge a premium because their clients trust them, implicitly.
Okay, starting to see the brilliance in that, this moat idea. It applies beyond investing, doesn't it? Makes you think about your own strengths, how to build that kind of edge.
And that brings us to another Buffett gem, tuning out the Wall Street noise. You won't find him glued to the ticker tape, freaking out over every little dip.
Easier said than done, right? That's a secret. How do you block out the hype and focus on the long game?
Buffett's playing chess, not checkers. He's looking for companies that'll thrive over decades, not just the next quarter. That's how he jumps on opportunities when the market overreacts. Remember the early 2000s? Larson Jewel's profits dipped a bit.
And everyone panicked, right?
Yeah.
Sky is falling.
Exactly. But Buffett, he saw the bigger picture. He knew their moat, that dip was temporary, bought low while others were selling out of fear. That's the power of patience, of perspective.
Fascinating. So when it comes to actually picking companies, does Hugh have a checklist? Or is it more gut feeling?
Buffett's got this great line, I buy businesses, not stocks. He wants to get to the heart of the company. And that starts with the leadership.
Strong leadership is non-negotiable then. Tell me more about that.
100%. He looks for management teams who are competent, yeah, but also ethical. They treat their shareholders like partners. They're in it for the long haul, building something that lasts, not just chasing the next quarterly report.
So they're not just, jumping on the latest bandwagon, even if it's going to fall apart.
Exactly. It's like, remember those housing companies before the '08 crash? They knew those subprime mortgages were trouble, but they kept churning them out because everyone else was.
Afraid to rock the boat, even if it's sinking.
Right. Terrified of losing market share, but ended up losing everything.
Proves that following the crowd doesn't usually lead to those big wins. It's about having the guts to go your own way, especially when the hype machine's in overdrive.
And that's where this earner earnings thing comes in. The Buffett focuses on. He's not just looking at the profit a company's reporting. He's digging deeper. How much cash are they really pulling in?
So it's got to be more than smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Beyond the accounting tricks, see what the business is actually made of.
Exactly. Think of it like, imagine you own a bakery. Owner earnings is figuring out how much money you're making after you've paid for the flour, the rent, your staff. The real measure of if the bakery is a success.
Got to separate the dough from the crumbs, as they say. So how does Buffett use this to size up potential investments?
He wants companies that are consistently churning out those strong owner earnings, right? Because that cash flow, that's what can be reinvested, used to grow the business even more, maybe pay dividends, or even buy back stock, all good stuff for shareholders.
So it's like finding those cash machines. Businesses that aren't just turning a profit, but they're financially solid, set up for growth long term.
Exactly. And that leads us to a really interesting case. Buffett's investment in the pampered chef. It's a perfect example of finding moats where you'd least expect and knowing the power of strong fundamentals.
Pampered chef.
Okay.
From high finance to kitchenware, huh? Now I'm really intrigued. What's the story?
All right, picture this. 1980. Doris Christopher, stay-at-home mom who loves to cook, she starts selling high-quality kitchen stuff through these in-home parties.
Like, Tupperware parties, but for people who actually like to cook.
Exactly. She tapped into that sense of community, the social selling aspect, built this network of consultants who loved the products, loved the whole experience.
Smart. But what was it that made Buffett notice? Was it just that the business model was clever?
It's more than that. Buffett saw a company that was built on rock-solid fundamentals. Christopher, she built the business herself, funded its growth through the earnings, not by going into debt. She was careful with the money, something Buffett really respects.
So strong leadership, smart execution, and fiscally responsible. Sounds like the Buffett playbook.
Exactly. And don't forget that moat we talked about, the Pampered Chef's direct selling method. That was a unique edge. They could reach customers in a way those big retailers only dreamed of.
It's amazing how those moats, they pop up everywhere. Not always some patent or tech thing. Sometimes it's that loyal community, a way of getting your product out there that nobody else can easily copy.
And that's the takeaway from the Pampered Chef. Makes you think twice about what a great business really is. Look beyond the obvious, you know. You might find those amazing companies hiding in plain sight.
It's about finding those hidden champions, the ones quietly dominating their little corners of the world, making bank, even if they aren't making headlines.
Exactly. And remember, strong leadership, a solid business model, being smart with money, those core principles, they work. Even in the most unexpected places.
Speaking of unexpected, you mentioned that even Buffett makes mistakes. I'm curious, what's an example where even his judgment wasn't perfect?
One that stands out is when he bought General Re, a reinsurance company. It shows how crucial due diligence is and how you can misjudge a company's culture.
Reinsurance, that's like insurance for insurance companies.
Exactly. And Buffett thought at the time that General Re, they operated with the same careful approach Berkshire Hathaway did with its other insurance businesses. He was wrong.
Oh, wow. So what happened? Did they, fudge the numbers or something?
It was more complicated than that. General Re, they had this whole culture of underpricing risk, taking on policies that were basically ticking time bombs. It wasn't something you could see right away.
So like a clash of values, basically.
Yeah.
And it ended up hurting them financially.
Yeah, it took a while for those problems to surface. 9/11 and all the insurance claims from that, it exposed the weaknesses in how General Re was doing things. Big losses for Berkshire.
That's a tough lesson to learn, especially for someone like Buffett. Shows you it's not always about the numbers. Got to understand the people, how they operate, the whole culture of the place.
100%. And the amazing thing is, Buffett owned up to it, admitted he messed up, called it a mea culpa, and then laid out exactly how he was going to fix General Re's problems.
So it's not enough to just be right. Got to be able to admit when you're wrong, learn from it, and course correct.
Exactly. It shows you his integrity. He's not afraid to hold himself accountable, even when it's tough.
Good reminder that everybody makes mistakes, even the best. It's what you do after that counts. How you bounce back, what you learn, that's what determines if you make it in the long run.
Absolutely. And for Buffett, learning from that General Re situation, it actually made him a better investor. He got even smarter about how to evaluate companies, how to avoid risks.
So turn those losses into lessons. Use them to refine your strategy, make smarter decisions down the road. That's valuable for anybody, not just investors.
For sure. And it shows the importance of always learning. Always be on the lookout for new knowledge. Keep trying to understand the markets, the businesses out there better and better.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. Moats, owner earnings, strong leadership, and even a healthy dose of humility. But we haven't really dug into Buffett's actual portfolio, have we?
Yeah.
How does he figure out how much to invest in each company? Is there some secret formula he uses?
It might surprise you, but Buffett's approach to managing his portfolio, it's pretty straightforward, actually. He believes in putting his money where his mouth is investing in a small number of businesses, ones that he understands inside and out and truly believes have huge potential for the long haul.
So don't spread yourself too thin. Go all in on your best ideas.
Exactly. He always says it's like a baseball player at bat. You don't swing at every pitch that comes your way. You wait for the perfect one, the companies you have the most confidence in. Then you swing for the fences.
I like that. So it's about being choosy, being patient, and then having the courage to make those big moves when the opportunity is right.
And once he's in, he's happy to hold on to those investments for years, decades even, chasing quick profits, trying to time the market. That's not his style.
Tune out the noise. Don't mess with your portfolio constantly. Let those investments grow over time.
That's the idea. There's this famous quote of his, "Our favorite holding period is forever." He truly believes in letting those investments play out, reaping the rewards of smart choices and being patient.
That's a powerful concept, especially these days when everything moves so fast. It's about trusting the process, ignoring the distractions, and letting those investments do their thing.
And that's the beauty of Buffett's approach, isn't it? It's not about some fancy algorithm or having insider info. It's about those basic principles of what makes a business successful and then applying them consistently with a long-term view.
It's about having that owner's mentality, looking beyond just the stock price, and understanding what truly creates value.
Exactly. And that's something anybody can learn to do with time and effort. It's about being curious, having that drive to figure out how businesses work, how they generate value, how they build those lasting moats we talked about.
So it's not about getting rich overnight. It's about building a solid base of knowledge and then letting those smart choices compound over time.
Precisely. It's a journey, but it's one that can challenge you intellectually and pay off financially.
You've really given us a lot to digest here. Buffett's strategies, his whole philosophy, and even learning from where he went wrong. What's the final takeaway our listeners can use as they start putting all this into practice?
Well, Buffett has this great saying, it's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price. Sums up his whole approach. But the tricky part is, how do you even know what makes a company wonderful?
Especially because wonderful might look different to me than it does to you.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as simple as just looking at the numbers.
Exactly. It's about your investments matching up with how you see the world, your values even, your vision for the future. Like, think about building a house. You wouldn't just buy any random plot of land. You'd think about the location, what's it built on, what materials were used. Investing is kind of similar.
Okay, so if our listener is ready to build their investment house, what are the building blocks?
Start with really understanding the business, just like we've been talking about. Can you make sense of it? Could you explain their whole business model to a 10-year-old?
That's a good test. If you can't make it simple, you probably don't know it well enough to be putting money in it.
Exactly. Next, size up the competition. What's their edge? Do they have that moat to protect their profits? And will it hold up over time?
We've mentioned moats a lot today, but it's worth repeating. This concept, it's crucial for finding those businesses that are built to last.
100%. Remember, a moat can be all sorts of things. A really strong brand, like a Coca-Cola, a cost advantage, like we saw with Acme Brick, or a unique way of getting your product out there, like the Pampered Chef. The key is figuring out what sets them apart and if that advantage is going to stick around.
Find the companies that are more than just a fad, the ones who've built something that can handle the ups and downs, the inevitable storms the market throws at them.
Right. And don't discount the importance of the management team. Are they ethical? Do they care about shareholder value? Are they making choices for long-term success, not just quick wins?
Find the leaders who are in it for the right reasons, people you share values with, people you trust to navigate all the twists and turns the business world throws at them.
And last but not least, patience, patience, patience. Building a winning portfolio takes time and discipline. You got to resist those knee-jerk reactions that can cost you big time.
Ignore the noise, stick to your guns, let those investments grow over time, just like Buffett's done.
That's it. He said it best. Our favorite holding period is forever. It's about letting those investments run their course, reaping the rewards of good decisions and a steady hand.
That's inspiring. And it's a good reminder, investing isn't about getting rich quick. It's about being part of something you believe in, companies that are making a difference, creating real value. It's a long game, but it pays off for those who put in the work, learn as they go, and don't give up.
Well said. And never lose that curiosity. Keep asking questions. Keep digging for those nuggets of wisdom. The investing world never sits still, and the most successful investors are the ones who never stop learning.
On that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into the Warren Buffett way. Hopefully you enjoyed the ride and you're feeling ready to tackle your own investment goals with a fresh perspective.
Until next time, happy investing.